Hey there. Imagine controlling your lights, temperature, and security with just your voice or a simple tap on your phone. That's the magic of a smart home, and today I'm going to show you how to make it happen, DIY style. You don't need to be a tech wizard or spend thousands of dollars. With just a few devices and easy setup, you can transform your home into a tech haven. First, let's talk about why you'd want a smart home. It's all about convenience, saving energy, and enhancing security. Picture this: coming home to a perfectly lit house with the ideal temperature, all set up automatically. Smart homes make your life easier by automating everyday tasks. They can save you money on energy bills and add an extra layer of safety to your home. Plus, who doesn't love the idea of controlling everything from their phone or with just their voice? Now that we've covered the benefits, let's dive into how you can start building your very own smart home. Getting started is easier than you think. Step 1. Choose your ecosystem. Are you Team Alexa, Google Home, or Apple HomeKit? It's important to pick a platform that works best for you and your devices. Each ecosystem has its unique features. Alexa is versatile, Google Home integrates well with Android devices, and HomeKit is great for Apple users. Step 2. Start small. A smart bulb is a perfect place to begin. Let me show you how easy it is to set one up. All it takes is a quick installation and connecting it to your app. Now you can control your lights with just a tap or a voice command. Smart plugs are another beginner-friendly device. Plug in any appliance and voila, you've added some intelligence to it. Imagine waking up to fresh coffee brewing automatically. It's a game changer. Once you've got the basics down, it's time to level up. Advanced devices like smart thermostats, locks, and cameras can take your smart home to the next level. Smart thermostats learn your schedule and preferences, helping you save on energy while staying comfortable. With smart locks, you can unlock your door remotely or give access to guests even when you're not home. And with smart cameras, you can keep an eye on your home from anywhere in the world. The best part? All these devices can work together seamlessly. Now let's tackle some common questions. First up, are smart homes secure? The answer is yes, as long as you use strong passwords and keep your devices updated. Next question, do smart homes use a lot of electricity? Actually, they're designed to save energy by optimizing usage. And finally, are smart homes expensive? Not at all. You can start small and upgrade as your budget allows. See? Turning your home into a smart home doesn't have to be hard or expensive. It's all about taking that first step. Start small, and before you know it, you'll be living in a fully automated paradise. Give it a try and let me know how it goes in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more tech tips.
All right, so you want to dive into smart homes, huh?
Yeah.
I took a look at the stuff you sent over, and it seems like you want the beginner's guide to all this automation stuff, right? Like just the basics, no crazy tech jargon.
Yeah, definitely.
Just the stuff that'll make you go, oh, that's how that works.
Exactly. We're gonna break it all down. Show you the good stuff, the benefits, and even toss in some pro tips to get you started.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So before we get too far, what even I as a smart home, like when I hear smart home, I think robots, bringing me snacks.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling it's not quite that fancy yet.
Well, the robots aren't quite serving us snacks yet, but you're not wrong. It's all about using tech to make your life easier.
Yeah.
Imagine controlling your thermostat, your lights, even your coffee maker, all without even getting up.
Now that's what I'm talking about. That's the good stuff. So what are the real benefits here? I saw in the stuff you sent that you can save money on your energy bills, make your home safer, and just, make life a little bit easier. Which of those actually makes the biggest difference?
They're all pretty important, but saving energy is a big one. Smart thermostats, they learn your schedule and they know when to adjust the temperature. So you could save like 10-15% on your energy costs.
Wow.
Which is not only good for your wallet, but it's good for the environment too.
10-15%. That's serious savings.
Yeah.
So it's not just about convenience, it's about actually making a difference.
Yeah, exactly. And let's not forget about safety, like getting those alerts from your security system or having your lights turn on automatically to scare away those unwanted visitors. It just gives you peace of mind.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm on board.
Yeah.
But where do you even start? There's so much stuff out there.
Mm.
The articles you sent me mentioned smart speakers, smart lights, and smart plugs is a good place to begin. Why are those like the holy trinity of a starter smart home?
They give you that taste of automation without making things too complicated. Smart speakers are like the control center. You can tell them what to do with your voice. Then there's smart lights. They can do so much more than just turn on and off, set the mood, even help with security. And smart plugs, those are the real game changers. You can make any appliance smart just by plugging it in.
Whoa, wait a minute. Smart anything? That sounds powerful. Okay, break it down for me. Let's talk about each of these starter devices. Smart speakers. I've heard of like Amazon Echo, Google Nest Hub, but what makes them so smart?
Think of them as the brain of your smart home. They have these voice assistants like Alexa for Amazon and Google Assistant for Nest Hub. They understand what you're saying, and then they tell your other devices what to do. You can play music, set timers, make calls, even control your lights or thermostat, all just by talking to them.
So I could literally just say like, Alexa, turn on the living room lights.
Yeah.
And it would just happen. That's straight out of a sci-fi movie. All right, what about smart lighting? Is it really just about turning lights on and off with your phone?
It's so much more than that. You can create custom lighting for any mood set schedule, so your lights turn on and off automatically, or even have them slowly brighten up to wake you up in the morning.
And what about those Philips Hue bulbs I saw mentioned in the articles? Are those like the top-of-the-line smart lights?
They're definitely a popular choice, and they work really well. They come in all sorts of colors, and they can connect with most smart home systems. Plus, they're super easy to use, especially if you're just starting out. You can group them together, and control them all at once. It's like having your own personal lighting designer.
Okay, now for the real magic trick, those smart plugs. They seem to be the key to making any home smarter, even if you don't want to replace all your appliances. What's the secret?
There's no secret. Smart plugs are just super versatile. They plug into your normal outlets, and then you plug your appliance into them. So you can control lamps, fans, coffee makers, anything really, all from your phone or with your voice.
So if I want coffee, I could just tell my smart speaker to turn on my coffee maker, which is plugged into a smart plug. Mind blown. Any brands I should check out?
Belkin Wemo smart plugs are a good bet. They're easy to use, they work with pretty much everything, and they're not too expensive. Perfect for starting out.
Okay, I'm really liking the sound of all this. But I have a feeling that jumping into all this without a plan isn't the best idea. What about planning? One of the sources seemed to think that was pretty important.
Yeah, it's super important. It's like building a house. You wouldn't just start building without a blueprint, right?
So how do I make a blueprint for my smart home?
It's all about figuring out what you want, setting your priorities, and making sure you don't spend more than you can afford.
Makes sense.
Mm.
What are some things I should think about when I'm setting those goals and priorities?
Ask yourself what you want to make easier in your life. Do you want more comfort, more security? Do you want to save energy? Do you want to be entertained? Once you know what you want, you can pick the right devices and features that'll get you there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm.
Because let's be honest, getting all the latest and greatest tech can get pricey fast. How do I make a budget and stick to it?
Start small. Focus on the essential devices we talked about, and then you can add more as you go. Remember, you don't have to do everything at once. It's a journey, not a race.
All right, journey it is. The sources also mentioned something about making sure your devices are compatible. What does that even mean?
It's like making sure all the pieces of a puzzle fit together. Smart home devices use different ways to communicate, like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee, Z-Wave, all these fancy names. So you can make sure the devices you choose can actually talk to each other, otherwise they won't work together very well.
So how do I figure out this language of smart devices?
Think of it like ecosystems. Popular ones are Apple HomeKit, Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa. These are like the platforms that connect your devices. So pick the ecosystem that works best for you and then stick with devices that are compatible with it.
All right, got it. I'm taking notes. So let's say I've done all that. I've planned everything out, picked my ecosystem, bought my devices. Am I going to need an engineering degree to actually set all this stuff up?
No, you don't need a degree. They've made these smart home devices pretty easy to set up. Most of them come with step-by-step instructions and apps that guide you through everything.
Really? It's that user-friendly.
You'd be surprised. You mostly just plug things in, download some apps, and follow the instructions. There's even a YouTube video in one of those sources you sent me that shows you all the basics.
Okay, that's a relief. Speaking of installation, I remember the first time I tried to set up a smart bulb. Let's just say it involved a lot of blinking lights and me getting very frustrated.
We've all been there. It takes a little trial and error sometimes, but once you get everything working, it's incredibly satisfying.
Yeah, It's like solving a really cool puzzle.
Hmm.
So are we ready to dig a little deeper into how to set up these devices?
Definitely. Let's start with smart speakers, the heart of most smart homes. We'll break it down step by step and make it super easy for you.
Sounds good to me.
The sources all say that usually you just plug in the speaker, download the app on your phone, and then follow the instructions. You'll probably have to connect it to your Wi-Fi, give it a name, and link it to your accounts for music and stuff like that.
And how do you choose the right speaker? There's so many to choose from. Do those ecosystems we talked about come into play here?
Absolutely. If you're all about Apple products, the Apple HomePod might be the one for you. But if you want more options and compatibility, then Amazon Echo or Google Nest Hub might be better.
So once I've picked my speaker and set it all up, how do I actually start using it to control my other devices?
Voice commands, that's the key. Each speaker has a wake word like Alexa for Echo or Hey Google for Nest Hub. You just say the wake word and then tell it what you want it to do.
So something like, Alexa, turn on the kitchen lights. Seriously, that's it.
Yep, that's all it takes. And the cool part is that most speakers are always learning. The more you use them, the better they understand you and what you want.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to move on to smart lighting. We talked about Philips Hue bulbs earlier, but how do you even install those things?
It's just like putting in a regular light bulb. You just screw it in. The smart part comes in when you're setting it up and controlling it.
All right, walk me through it.
You'll need to download the Philips Hue app, connect the bulbs to your Wi-Fi through this thing called the Hue Bridge, and then you can start playing around with all the features in the app. You can group lights, create scenes, set schedules. It's really cool.
A Hue bridge. What's that?
It's like a central hub that connects all your Hue bulbs to your smart home network. So everything runs smoothly and you can control it all from one place.
Got it. So I could group all the lights in my living room together and control them as one unit.
Exactly. You could have a movie night scene that dims the lights for a cozy atmosphere, or a wake-up scene that gradually brightens the lights to wake you up gently in the morning.
And the best part is I can control it all from my phone or even with my voice if I have a smart speaker.
You got it. Imagine saying, Alexa, set the living room to movie night mode, and watching the lights transform your room. Pretty cool, huh?
It's amazing. But what about those times when I want to make an appliance smart, even if it wasn't designed that way? That's where those smart plugs come in, right?
Exactly.
Well,
Let's explore the world of smart plugs and see what they can do.
All right, so we've talked about smart speakers and smart lights now. Let's get to those smart plugs and how they can make, well, anything smart.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Like, they're so simple, but you can do so much with them. You just plug in your appliance into the smart plug, and then boom, you can control it from your phone or even with your voice.
It's like I'm still trying to grasp all the things you could do. It's like giving your old lamp or your coffee maker a brain transplant.
Exactly. You can set schedules, turn things on and off, even if you're not home, and keep track of how much energy you're using, all from this little plug.
We were talking about Belkin Wemo smart plugs earlier. Why are those a good option for someone just starting out with all this?
Wemo plugs are super easy to use. You can find them pretty much anywhere, and they work with most of the big smart home systems. Plus, they don't break the bank, which is always nice when you're just getting started.
Speaking of getting started, what's the setup like? Is it as easy as the other stuff we talked about?
Totally easy. It's usually just 3 steps. Plug it in, download the app, and connect it to your Wi-Fi. The app walks you through the whole thing.
And once it's set up, I just control it through the app.
Yep. You can turn it on and off, set schedules, even make it do things based on other stuff happening. Like, you can make your fan turn on automatically when the temperature gets too high.
So I could have my coffee maker start brewing automatically every morning before I even get out of bed. That would change my life.
That's the idea. And if you have a smart speaker, you could just say, Alexa, turn on the coffee maker, and you're good to go. Fresh coffee without even lifting a finger.
Okay, I'm definitely getting a few smart plugs. But what about some of the more advanced stuff? The articles mention things like smart thermostats and security systems.
That's where things get really interesting. With smart thermostats, they actually learn what temperature you like and adjust things automatically so you're always comfortable. And you save energy too.
So it's like having a little energy-saving elf that keeps my house comfy and keeps my bills low.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And you can control it all from your phone. Even if you're on vacation, you can make sure your house is nice and warm when you get back.
What about these smart security systems? Are we talking about those doorbell cameras you see advertised everywhere?
Those are part of it, but it's more than that. You've got cameras, sensors, motion detectors, smart locks, even systems that connect to professional monitoring services.
So it's not just about seeing who's at the door. It's about having a whole system that keeps your home safe and gives you peace of mind.
Exactly. You can get alerts on your phone if something's up. You can watch live video from your cameras. You can even talk to someone at the door, all from anywhere in the world.
That's pretty wild. It sounds like these systems are getting really advanced. Any brands or systems you'd recommend checking out?
The articles mention Ring Arlo and SimpliSafe as good options. They have all sorts of different devices and features, so you can find something that fits your needs and your budget.
So I can start with just a doorbell camera and then add more stuff later on as I need it.
Exactly. You can customize your security system over time to make it perfect for you.
All this talk about smart homes and automation makes me think of those movies where people control everything with their voices. Is that where we're headed?
It does feel futuristic.
We're not quite there yet, but voice control is definitely becoming a big part of the smart home experience.
So you're saying I could control my lights, my thermostat, even my security system just by talking to my smart speaker.
Yep. It's all about making things simpler and easier to use. It's about making tech work more naturally for us.
It sounds like voice control is what ties the whole smart home together.
You could say that. It's how we communicate with all our devices and make them work together.
We've talked about smart speakers, lights, plugs, thermostat, security systems. Is there like a main control panel for all this stuff? Like one device to rule them all? That's where smart home hubs come in. Think of them as the brains of your smart home. They connect all your devices so they can talk to each other and work together seamlessly.
So it's like a command center for my entire smart home.
Exactly. Instead of controlling each thing separately, you can use a smart home hub to create routines and automations that use multiple devices all at once.
Okay, give me an example. How would a smart home hub make my life easier?
Let's say you have a good morning routine. You could set it up so that when you wake up, your lights turn on the thermostat, adjusts to your perfect temperature, the coffee maker starts brewing, and your favorite podcast starts playing, all with one command.
Okay, that is officially smart. And it sounds like a smart home hub is a must-have if you really want to take advantage of all this automation stuff.
It's definitely worth considering, especially as you add more devices and your smart home gets more complex.
Any recommendations for good smart home hubs?
The articles mention Samsung SmartThings, Cubitat Elevation, and Amazon Echo Plus as popular options. They each have their pros and cons, so it's worth doing some research to see which one fits you best.
All right, smart home hubs. Add to the list. But before we move on, I want to circle back to compatibility for a second.
Ah, yes, the key to a happy smart home.
Exactly. You were talking about those ecosystems before Apple HomeKit, Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa. How do I know which one is the right one for me?
It really depends on what kind of tech you already use and what devices you want. If you're an Apple person, then HomeKit makes sense. If you're more of a Google fan, then Google Assistant is the way to go. And if you want the most options for devices, then Amazon Alexa might be your best bet.
So basically, pick an ecosystem and stick with devices that work within that ecosystem.
Exactly. That'll save you a lot of headaches down the road and make sure everything works together nicely.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all this fits together. But let's zoom out for a minute and think about the big picture. Is all this smart home stuff really worth it?
That's a good question. And the answer is like a lot of things. It depends.
On what?
On you. What do you need? What's important to you? What kind of lifestyle do you have? If you want to make life simpler, save some money on your bills, make your home safer, or just have fun controlling things with your voice, then yeah, a smart home could be a good investment.
It definitely sounds appealing, but it seems like it would be easy to get carried away and end up with a bunch of gadgets you don't really need.
That's why it's so important to start small. Figure out what's important to you and build your smart home slowly over time. Start with the basics, try things out, and then add more as you go.
That's good advice. It's a journey, not a destination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you start this journey, there's one more thing we need to talk about: maintenance.
Maintenance. Like, do I need to dust my smart speaker and polish my smart bulbs?
Not quite. It's more about keeping everything running smoothly and making sure it's secure.
Okay, tell me more. What kind of maintenance are we talking about?
Okay.
Okay, so back to this whole maintenance thing. I gotta be honest, when I hear maintenance, I don't exactly get excited.
I get it, but it's really not that bad. It's just about making sure everything keeps working like it should and keeping your system safe.
Okay, I'm listening. What are the main things I need to worry about?
Well, the sources talk about three main things: keeping your firmware up to date, making sure everything's connected properly, and doing some regular checkups.
Firmware updates. I think I've heard of that, but remind me what it is again.
So firmware is like the software that's inside your devices. Just like you update the apps on your phone, you need to update the firmware to keep everything running smoothly and securely.
So it's not just about getting new features, it's about security too.
Exactly. Those updates, they often have security patches that protect your devices from hackers. It's like giving your smart home a flu shot.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. How often do I need to check for updates? And how do I even do that?
Most devices will tell you when there's an update, but it's a good idea to check yourself at least once a month. You
Yeah.
can usually find the update option in the app for that device.
Got it. Updates check.
Mm-hmm.
What about those connectivity issues you were talking about? I'm guessing a good Wi-Fi signal is pretty important for all this stuff to work, right?
You got it. Most smart home devices use Wi-Fi to communicate, so a strong signal is super important.
What are some signs that I might have a connectivity problem?
If your devices aren't responding, or they're taking forever to respond, or if they keep disconnecting, then that's a sign something's up. The sources recommend checking your Wi-Fi signal, restarting your router, and making sure your devices are close enough to the router.
And if those things don't work?
Most companies have websites or FAQs that can help you figure out more complicated problems.
Okay, so we've got updates and connectivity down. What about those regular health checks? What does that even mean?
It just means being proactive and making sure everything is working the way it should. Test your devices every now and then, see if there are any error messages, make sure they're responding to your commands.
So basically just give my smart home a regular checkup, like taking it to the doctor.
Exactly. A little bit of prevention can save you a lot of trouble down the road.
All right, I'm feeling a lot better about this whole maintenance thing. It doesn't sound too bad. And honestly, the peace of mind is worth it.
I'm glad to hear that. Just remember, building a smart home is a journey. Start small, figure out what you need, and don't be afraid to try new things.
And have fun with it.
Yeah,
This technology is so cool, and it's only going to get cooler.
definitely. The future of smart homes is wide open. Who knows what amazing things they'll come up with next?
I can't wait to see what they come up with. But for now, I think we've given our listeners a great starting point for building their own smart homes.
I think so too. The most important thing is to just take that first step and see how this technology can make your life better.
So, to everyone listening who's ready to jump into the world of smart homes, remember, start small, try new things, and enjoy the ride. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.